Hey, everybody. First off, thanks for listening to the Endless Song podcast. And if you're enjoying the show, please remember to give us a review on the platform that you listen to us on, because it helps us reach more people who may benefit from the content. Thanks again. And this week, you can come see us live in the wild at the Enchanted Night Market in downtown Salem, Oregon on Saturday, August 2nd from 3 to 10 p.m. We'll have a booth there where you'll be able to record sound bites for us to use in the show. Plus, we're teaming up with our friend from Psychic Shine, Sheyla de Jesus. She'll be offering 20-minute intuitive readings for a mere $40. So whether you're feeling a shift in your expression, a nudge towards something new, or you simply want to feel more inspired, this session offers grounded insight and a little energetic lift. And you can learn more about Sheyla from our vocabulary show with her, as well as her upcoming full-length interview. Or you can go see her at her website at psychicshine.com.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right. This is the Endless Song Podcast with Will and Emily. Like I said.
Hey, how you doing? I'm Noelle. I'm here with my good friend Megan, and we're here at the Mystic Fair in Salem, Oregon. Give them a little bit of a soundbite for Will and Emily here for their upcoming podcast.
Which we're very excited about.
We're very excited about this.
Yeah.
It's going to reach far and wide with this.
You guys are going to be in the commercial.
I think it's a good message. It's a good start. My name's Meg. I'm reaching out to the same audience that Will and Emily are reaching out to, and that you are absolutely not alone in experiencing the things you're going through. And more than anything that you take from listening to their podcast, know that you are divinely loved, protected, and guided through every step of the way. And I'm just really proud of you. And I tell everyone that. I think there's probably not enough love that goes around, but love can be a trigger word or an activating word for people, but I try and use it as loosely as possible, because coming from a household where that was kind of missing, that's just the stance I've taken, and I find a lot of strength and community in communing that I love everyone. And I love you, Noelle.
I love you, girl.
And I love you, Will.
Oh, I love you guys too.
Emily. Yes.
I love you, Sarah. And I love you, Hannah.
It's important to find what we call our tribe. We found our tribe through Sarah Lemos, and we've taken some great classes with her. If you're ever interested, Pathways to Spirit.
Highly recommend.
Highly recommend.
I met my partner in there, and I found a lot of myself in that class. Parts of myself that I didn't realize were hidden away, that were in the way of me moving forward in my journey in life and finding the alignment that was meant for me.
Yep.
Yeah.
And just know your tribe is out there. Your people are out there. Don't give up. Don't give up on yourself. And let's keep supporting this podcast. Thank you, Will. Thank you, Emily.
Hell yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys. And we're, just to let everybody know, we're looking to get them on for a full interview. So if you guys want that and you're listening, send emails.
Yay.
So that we can let them know, all right?
Also, love the gays. Love the gays.
Yeah.
Yes. Pride.
We can even have a little conversation if you want.
Yeah, I think a conversation would be good.
Okay. All right. So, Jared, did you have a moment where sort of it steps you out of the reality that everyone experiences on a daily basis, the 6 o'clock news, the day-to-day traffic and driving around, that brought you to a new place, or has kind of the spirituality thing always been a part of your life?
definitely not, I wouldn't say it was a moment. I've had a couple moments, more recently some aha moments, but I started out with, I was raised in a cult, basically.
Okay.
And so I had a very narrow mindset. And it took me a while to kind of realize that it was a cult. Even after I was out of it, I was still kind of that defending phase of like, they're not that bad. And I still say they're not that bad. But
Sure.
I could see the damage that was done.
Okay.
And so I ended up I've always been kind of drawn to crystals. Crystals is what got me into the metaphysics.
Okay.
First it was just like, I like these and they're pretty and I want to collect them. So I started collecting. And then I got too many and I had to sell them.
Okay.
And because there was too many of them
Sure,
in the house.
yeah.
And if I wanted to buy more, I had to sell. And then I ended up learning the metaphysical side of those. And then that brought me to the MiWi fairs that go on in the Pacific Northwest,
Okay.
which then introduced me to a bunch of practitioners, which then kind of led me to like, I'm understanding like, what is this, what is that? I want to know all this because this was all taboo or not appropriate or, from the devil or whatever you want to call
Sure,
it.
yeah.
And so I was like, that's super interesting. And I just started sponging everything in. And then I mean, that happened for a couple of years. I was vending at all the fairs and everything. And then I ended up, I was on TikTok one night, the most recent, I had an aha moment back in November, right after the election.
Okay.
I was like, I can't take on the angst and fear that everybody else is. I have to take care of myself.
Yeah.
So I focused on myself and making sure I was right. Because as RuPaul will say, if you can't love yourself, how can you love anybody else?
Right.
So
yeah.
that was kind of the mentality of like, I can't do this. I can't live in fear and I have to take care. So I had this massive shift of like, I was never an anxious person, but I used to have anxiety over things that I realized there's no reason to have anxiety over. It's not going to kill me. And so I'm going to get, whether or not I enjoy it at the time, I'm going to live. So I just like started losing all fear of stuff, and it just kind of like, okay, I'm going to try that. I'm going to try this kind of thing. That was like in November, and that kind of extended. And then about a month ago, I ended up on TikTok. I was just scrolling, and somebody mentioned soul contracts, and that's how the soul contract reports came in.
Okay.
Just explaining what they were, and it was analytical enough for my mind to really wrap my head around it. And then I got the book, Soul Contracts Decoded. And it was like, this is so interesting. And then I saw the power in it. Mm-hmm. And then within like a month, I was trained and doing the soul contract reading, which is where I can see and that has really shifted me quickly. I mean, that's only been a little while, and there's a massive difference in my confidence because I know what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm just going to put that in front of you.
Because we can edit.
So I've always been into energetics and pretty intuitive, and for a long time I wasn't quite sure where my place was with that, as part of the healing world and helping others, because I've always wanted to help people heal. That's been a calling of mine for a long time.
Okay.
Through lots of struggles, I found Pilates as a way to connect to my body and get to know my body more.
Okay.
And so I became an instructor, and I love teaching, and for the longest time I thought there was something else to this. I knew it wasn't my end, and I wasn't quite sure where I was going. But now, looking back, I can see how important Pilates has been, because I understand the body and movement patterns so clearly now, and it's bled into the work that I'm doing now with fascial response and integration and body talk. Because now, when through all my years of teaching Pilates, I've taught for about 15 years, I just have a sense when I look at the body of what it needs intuitively, and I think it's come from that study. And so when I look back, Pilates wasn't for nothing, and it's played a huge role in my transformation and how I help people heal with the body work that I do.
Okay.
So when I first came across fascia response and integration, I thought I was going to be working with foam rollers and balls and things like that. And what really happened is I got brought into the quantum healing world and how our fascia is this incredible living matrix that it's like our imprinted signature in the world, and it plays a huger role in our interactions with our environment and the universe than we could ever imagine. And with that, I've had to really lean into my intuition and energetics and really taking what I understand from the body and what I see visually and understanding it from a deeper perspective, as it's an expression and it has something to tell us, and our body has a story to tell, and it is in constant communication all the time. And as I've come to really understand how the body speaks, my body has begun to speak very loud to me. I was at a job that I needed to leave, and I kept making all these excuses on to stay, like we all do. How bad is it really? And then I broke out in a rash that I was itching and itching and itching, and I couldn't stop, and until the day that I quit the job, then I stopped. And another interesting story is before I went into Body Talk, it just didn't feel like the right time. You know, is anything ever the right time? I don't know, right? Because whenever we take a big leap, it's time commitment, financial commitment, just so much commitment. And I wasn't sure if I was ready to make that commitment, even though I felt a calling. And so I said I was going to do it, and then last minute I said no. I didn't send my payment in. And then my whole left side of my body, which just was in so much pain. I couldn't sit. I could only stand. I couldn't lift my arm above my head. And I had to teach Pilates that day, and I basically apologized to all my students. And I said, I'm only going to be talking today because I can't move, basically. It was very specific, just the left side of my body. My right side was completely fine, which I find interesting, being that our left is the intuitive, feminine aspect, you know, and my right side being the masculine was saying, like, you're just going to continue doing everything you're supposed to do. And my feminine body, my higher aspect was like, no, you need to listen to me right now. And so I sat with it for 24 hours, and I said, I really need to listen to my body. My body's trying to tell me something right now. And I got on a phone call with a close friend, and I said, I think I need to take this course. It doesn't make any sense. And, you know, when I'm looking at my finances, I'm looking at this and this, nothing makes sense. And so I decided to make the leap. I sent the payment in and registered. And by the next day, my symptoms were better. You know, well, not 100%, but, you know, they relieved.
Sure.
The next day they relieved. And then I was fine in like 3 days. So I find it interesting because the more we allow ourselves to lean into our bodies and understand them, that symptoms aren't just symptoms and nothing's wrong with you, but it's your body telling you something. And it's up to you to really become honest with yourself.
It's recording.
Hi, my name is Sheyla de Jesus. I'm with Psychic Shine, and I'm here to let you know that there aren't any mistakes that you're making. In fact, some of those mistakes that you make are leading you to a space of being able to destroy so that you can then create. If you don't have power to create, the world will put you in a place to create. So don't resist.
That's great.
You've been listening to the Endless Song Podcast with Will and Emily. Today's music, Everything Feels New and Alternative Ways by Evgeny Bardyuja. Stay safe out there, everyone. And remember, intentions matter. So be thoughtful, be kind, and be better every day. And we'll see you out there on the trails.
What would you say the differences are before you were awake and then after you were awake?
Before I was awake, I remember feeling lucky when good things would happen, as if they were just popping up. But now, being in my body and being present and being awake, it's more of me allowing things to line up to me versus the world and me having to fit into the worlds. So, yeah.
Yeah, awesome.